everybody, and welcome to CraftStash Live. Apologies for the slight lateness in today's broadcast. We were having a few technical difficulties here at CraftStash HQ. So last week you all met the fantastic Lou Collins, who was our new presenter. Obviously I'm not Lou Collins. She is, some of you eagle-eyed viewers might have seen, she's away at Hochanda today with Christina Griffiths demonstrating, so I'm standing in for her today. And I'm here with Lynette Jasper from Pretty Gets Gritty. Hello Lynette.
Oh, yeah.
So really exciting day today. Lynette's going to be showing us some of her mixed media products. Now you can't go anywhere in the craft world these days without seeing mixed media everywhere, from distress inks to cosmic shimmer to all that different variety. Here at CraftStash we already have some product on site, but we are planning on adding more and more over the next year to give that full mixed media offering. And we're really pleased to be starting our mixed media journey with Pretty Gets Gritty.
Pretty Gets Gritty is very excited too.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell us a bit more about the brand, about how you started your...
Yeah, so Pretty Gets Gritty came about. I was standing in for another demonstrator who took ill, and the company that she worked for asked what sort of things that I was into.
Yes.
So Craft Buddy and I spoke, and I said, this is what I like doing, and sent them some pictures. And they said, how about we work together? So that's how Pretty Gets Gritty was born.
Brilliant. And you'll see on CraftStash that there's a huge range of products. There's powders, there's paste, there's all kinds of different things. Am I right in thinking it's for that kind of arty, messy crafting?
Oh, absolutely.
Fantastic.
Hence the gritty vibe.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
You've got to get a bit of grit in there.
We like a bit of grit. So let's see who we've got watching today. So hello to all our Facebook viewers and to our YouTube viewers. We have lots of people. Oh, we have Wendy is watching from Texas.
Wow.
Hello Wendy. Nice to
It's very, very early or very, very late there.
That's true, yes. Yeah. I can never complain about sort of long days and being tired when I'm here, because then we have our American viewers coming on and going, it's 5 in the morning here.
Yeah,
And I go, okay,
exactly.
That's commitment. That's
It is.
really good. Elizabeth Kimber says, first time watching you from UK Surrey. Hello Elizabeth.
Hi.
Welcome. It's good to have you on board.
It's nice. It's nice to be here. I'm really glad of the opportunity and bring mixed media to CraftStash.
Yes, yeah.
It's brilliant.
We're really excited too. It's one of those things that we want to bring you mixed media, and we want to show you what to do with it as well. I think people can get a little bit kind of overfaced by it sometimes. Can't they?
There's a lot of people that are scared. There was a lady on my Facebook this week on the Facebook group, and she's like, I've got all the stuff. I just need that little push to get into it, and you just go for it.
Just go and play, and
that's it. Start off small on a tiny canvas board or a journal cover. You know, these journals are perfect for it.
Yes.
And just try out some techniques.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, you gesso over it and you start again.
Yeah. So we've got Wendy says it's 6 a.m. in Texas. So
Wow.
Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning.
Carol Lewis says hello, great to see you both. Hope there are no more gremlins about. I hope so too. Carolyn Griffin, good morning from Arizona. 6 a.m. in Arizona as well. Colin Davis says, few found the video. Hello Lynette, glad you are now on CraftStash.
Hi.
How exciting. Oh, Sharon says that we have cute glasses, and she's just got new ones, so she notices these things.
I think yours are cuter than mine. Really polka dots.
I actually saw these on the shelf and thought, I'm going to try those on because they'll look ridiculous.
And they didn't.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it, yeah. So today we have 2 fantastic prizes to give away as well. Nearly forgot to mention the prizes.
I know.
Awful.
And we were only talking about them like a few seconds before we went live.
Exactly. So we have 2 Pretty Gets Gritty bundles to give away. Loads of products in each. You've got a huge selection of Lynette's products. So to be in with a chance of winning, just comment to win. So tell us what you think of the demos, tell you your mixed media stories, anything like that. Just say hello, and you'll be entered into our prize draw. So shall we take a look at your first demo?
Yes, of course. So we're going to be covering these journals. So they're really cute. We're going to finish off with the cover, but we're going to start decorating the inside. So I'm going to show you how to get to this part here.
Oh wow.
Right? And this is what we're going to end up with. Something like these. They're super simple, really quick and easy. Loads of easy techniques to get to these stages. People look at it and think, oh, there's so much going on. But if you build up your layers, dry nicely in between, you can get there really quickly.
Great.
So all I am using is some old music sheet paper, and I'm going to use transparent gesso to apply it. So I'm just going to give a really nice light coat of transparent gesso.
So is gesso your base essentially?
It is. So transparent gesso, well, you wouldn't usually stick things with transparent gesso, but when you're journaling, it's absolutely fine. So anything more than paper, don't use transparent gesso. So this primes and gives a base, but it also protects between layers. So if you're using water-based products and you want to layer something else on top, you'd use transparent gesso between very, very quickly to protect your previous layer, and then you can layer another colour on top.
Great. So it's just like collaging, isn't it?
It is. So you just collaging. So we're just building some interest in the base. Most of this is going to be covered up, but you will still see bits of the music peeking out, and it's a nice random way,
right, fab,
if you will, rather than just sticking a sheet of paper down.
Yeah.
We're going to have some interest, and because we're using transparent gesso as well, it's protecting the cover of our journal. It's going to make it a little bit sturdier, a little bit thicker.
Okay.
And you'll still see the brown of the journal peeping through.
Right.
So it'll give your sprays or whatever else that you're putting on top of it a different tone, if you will, because we've got the darker there and we've got the lighter here.
Right, okay.
So we've stuck on our paper. Now this is really, really quick to dry. So I'm just going to hold it down, knocking the nail, and give it a really quick dry. And it doesn't take too long at all. You can see it's starting to go clear in places.
Right, so you can really build it up quickly.
Yeah, you can build it up quickly. So I think that is enough drying on there. And then what we're going to do is going to swap out our transparent gesso for some white gesso. Okay. Now normally you'd cover a whole project in white gesso.
Okay.
But I just want some texture, some patchiness. So when we lay the sprays down, it's going to hit the brown, it's going to be different. Right. It's going to hit the paper, it's going to be different. It's going to hit some of the white gesso. It's going to look different again. So you're going to get like a multi-tonal effect.
Okay.
So we're going to pick that up with a brayer.
Okay.
And just brayer it on, so you get this really sketchy
look. It looks almost distressed.
Yeah. So you might need to pop, make sure I get the right pot, a little bit more down.
A lot of people say in here that they struggle with mixed media. So Diane Marsh says she finds mixed media all a bit scary and will be watching with interest.
It's not scary at all. We've got a really simple, easy, quick demo with mixed media. It's very mixed media based coming up after this.
Oh, I mean, we've been doing this for a couple of minutes and already you can see it starting to come together.
Exactly, and this is what I call mixed media flat work. So you're building layers, but it's still going to be flat. Yeah. Whereas the dimensional stuff is what people are more scared of, and it's no different than what you're doing. You're building layers. Your layers are thicker.
Right.
So that is how we've got to this stage on our journal. So I've got a piece of paper in here that is just going to protect what we are going to do.
Okay.
So what we're going to do now is start to spray. So the Pretty Amazing sprays, you need to shake them. So if I show you this one unshook, you can see there's a different colour of mica.
Right, yes.
So we've got the pigment colour of the ink, and then the shimmer comes from a different colour of mica in the bottle. Okay. And when you are spraying, using two tones together, or three 3 colours together, start with your lighters first.
Right.
And apply more of that than anything else.
Okay.
So, because our darker one is going to cover it. So I'm just going to give it a really, really light dry because I don't want it to blend too much with the other. So there's going to be drier patches, lighter patches. There's going to be denser patches where there's more ink.
Right, okay.
So just a very, very quick dry.
And
you can see it's pushing it around.
Yeah, I love the fact that even on the denser parts you can still see the pattern underneath. That's really lovely.
Exactly.
Effect.
The gesso gives it a translucent look. So I'm just going to add. And then with this layer, I am going to pick it up and just roll it. Let it slide wherever it wants to go. See, I really like this effect here, but I don't want to slide it anymore. So I'm just going to use my finger and pat it. And it'll just start to run in different places.
Oh, wow.
Now, I like that.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So what we do need to do is completely dry this layer. So if there's any questions or anything you want to ask while I'm doing this.
Yes, please comment with your questions.
Yeah.
This is your chance to learn about mixed media, to try something new. Just had a few comments on Facebook. A few people have switched over from YouTube because of a few technical issues going on with YouTube. Please rest assured we are looking at that and we're trying to fix that as soon as possible, so I apologise for that. A lot of people in the UK saying that they're inside because it's wet and rainy.
It's shocking outside.
Sheffield, it's raining, Crewe, it's raining, it's wet in Northampton, everywhere
It's
raining.
wet here too.
Yeah, we had to put our paper-based samples across in the rain.
Yeah.
In the rain.
We did. We didn't want them damaging.
So Sharon says she's glad that we're demonstrating it. She says, I would have thought Jasper would make the paper brittle, but it didn't.
No, it didn't. Obviously, if you put too much on, you can get that rippled effect.
Yeah.
Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to add another layer. So we've got our base layer, which is the journal. Sorry, stop tickling my throat.
That's all right. I've had the same thing for ages.
Then we've got our music paper, second layer. Transparent gesso gives it a third layer.
Right.
White gesso, fourth layer.
Right.
Sprays, fifth layer. So we've already got 5 layers going on there. Yet it's not built up, it's not dimensional. So what we're going to do now is add another layer. So I'm going to use white gesso again. And I'm going to do a dry brushing technique. So taking my brush, I'm knocking most of it off. And a stencil. So what I'm going to do is just start by stippling through. And I like using a normal paintbrush. If you use a proper stippling brush, you get that full effect.
Right.
Whereas I like it to look very sketchy, very, you know what I mean? I don't want the full stencil using. I want it to look patchy.
Yeah, and it looks, even though it's flat, it's I don't know if you can see on the camera, but it looks quite textured.
Exactly, this is perfect for journal covers because they're on the outside of what you're doing. So I'm going to swap over to another stencil now, and I'm going to do exactly the same technique but with black gesso.
Right.
So take some out. I'm going to try not to load my brush up too much.
Some lots more comments about mixed media. Emma Tompkins says she thinks she overthinks mixed media, so she's interested to see if she can take a more relaxed approach and is looking forward to hints and tips.
So it's just about playing and having fun.
Definitely, yeah.
There's only one rule with mixed media.
Yes.
Use gel medium.
Right.
If you don't use gel medium, you risk the project that you've spent hours creating falling apart because other glues aren't as strong. They haven't got the elastic value that gel medium has. So that is the only rule at all. The other rule is have fun.
Yes, definitely.
Don't constrain yourself. Don't overthink it. Just think one layer at a time.
Definitely, yes. And I love Sharon's comment here. She says anyone can do this. You don't have to be able to draw, paint, etc.
Exactly.
Yay.
This is, you know, being creative just as much as drawing and painting, but you don't need any of those skills.
People saying they love the glass mat. It's easy to clean.
Yes.
Tara apologies if I said that wrong. So she has a braid for the gesso before, so that's a new skill there.
Yeah. You can actually sprays as well, so if you wanted to, if you want a really light effect of the spray, just spray some out on your mat. Of course, just because something comes in a spray bottle doesn't mean to say that you have to spray it.
Right.
Get a paintbrush into it.
Oh, brilliant.
You know, tip it out, splatter it, do whatever you want to it.
Yeah.
It really, really does not matter.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got to this stage now.
Okay. So we've had sorry to interrupt.
No, you're all right.
We've had a few comments saying, but that's still wet. Is that okay? Are you waiting for it to dry?
It's dry.
It's dry. Completely dry.
Yeah.
So that was what a quick.
It is
going over with a heat tool.
Because you're using very light layers. They're very quick to dry.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because we're not trying to cover up what's going on there. We're just adding to.
Okay.
So if you were to use thicker layers of gesso, obviously it's going to take longer to dry.
Yes, yeah.
But even then, it's still quite quick drying if you're using a heat tool.
Yes.
So all I'm going to do now is just take this fine liner and I'm going to add some like faux stitching. So just a couple of lines down each side.
Oh wow. And that's just any pigment fine liner.
Yep.
Rena Hurst is asking, are the sprays alcohol based?
They are water based.
Right.
So I'm just adding some little stitchy marks here just by scribbling. But I think you'll agree it gives a lovely effect. I'm just going to dry that off. So yeah, so most of the products are water based, which is why we use transparent gesso a lot of the time in between the layers so you don't disturb what's going on.
Right. I have a nice hat from Tracy Arnold here. She said she made a spray box from cornflake boxes, so presumably to stop it going everywhere. But we can, on CraftStash, we do have specially formed trays for your powders, your glitters, your sprays, which are obviously completely reusable. So you know, there's hacks, isn't there, to get around the mess in this world with mixed media.
I don't have a spray box at home. Everything just gets sprayed. So I'm just going to add some white over the top of the black. Just some scribbles in there.
Great. Just again, I love how random it is. So
that's it. You're just not thinking about it. Just you know, maybe the most part of the fort is where there's where there's a dark patch, put your white fine liner. Where there's a lighter patch, use your dark fine liner.
Great.
It's as easy as that. So that is pretty much the journal done.
Wow. But
we're going to add some other bits onto it. So we're going to use the explosion powders. And I'm going to show you a little bit of magic. We're going to create a background. So these are great for card making, for tipping over your mixed media. So you've got your mixed media project to a certain stage. You've got it all white gessoed, and you're like, what am I going to colour it with? I don't want to use sprays. You can use these. So you can use many different ways. And just tip them out. So we look like we've got a pretty nondescript powder there. And then this is just water. Once you spray onto them, your colour starts to burst.
That's amazing. I can see where the explosion powder came from.
Exactly,
now.
the colour explodes. So then you can add on top. You don't just have to use one colour.
Okay.
You can add on top.
Oh wow.
And then we'll add a little bit more. So you can use them by themselves. You can layer them up together. You don't need to wait for them to dry. They're not going to go muddy.
Yeah, you can see even from that, that first one.
And
that
then you can pick it up, roll it around.
Oh, it's like
and
a
you can
marble
create
effect, isn't it?
backgrounds like this. So the other way that you can use these is, let's just tip a little bit out. You can watercolour with them. So you just need a tiny piece shake of powder. So there's hardly any on there. Pick it up.
Oh, that's such an intense colour.
It is, and you can, the more water that goes into it, the more fade you get on it.
Right.
Also, when it dries with a beautiful shimmer effect. So let's just pop that out of the way and let it dry. So I'd already done this on a sheet, so this was a full sheet. So then I stamped some butterflies out, so you get this lovely variegated effect. So I stamped out my butterflies on top of this. So I'd explosion first, then stamped on top, then cut out.
Yeah. I love the fact that all of them are different.
Yeah, and I've got some sentiments, so we need to choose. Right, so we've got make the most, and either of every moment, or of yourself, or we can use limited edition. So these are from the Pretty Vibes stamp set. So what shall we go for? Make the most of yourself, make the most of every moment,
oh, it's hard to,
or limited edition.
Let's go for make the most of every moment.
Make the most of every moment.
People are loving these. We've got a question here.
Yeah.
Joanna's asking, what paper did you use?
This paper is just white card. It's just simple white card.
Fantastic.
Doesn't have to be anything special. Obviously, it's got to be uncoated.
Yes.
So let's just pop that out of the way. I'm just going to use the fine liner again around this. Try not just to give a little bit of interest.
Great.
But I quite like stamping out this typeface. I like the simplicity of it when we've got so much going on.
Yeah. Well, people are really loving the powders, saying that they're like magic.
They are.
So those are the Pretty Gets Gritty explosion powders, which you can find them on CraftStash.
Yeah, there's actually the one that people love the most is a black powder called Zeus. So I think you've actually got the tub there. Yes. So that one, I won't show it, but when you tip out the Zeus, that's fine, because these are all different colours. So you've got silvers and golds coming through. So Zeus, look at all that from a black powder.
And it's got all that colour.
You've got turquoise, yellows, pinks, reds, greens.
Let's just hold that up to the close-up camera. I think.
This one?
Let's, have a look at that, because you just want to get the effect of everything that's in there.
Yeah. It's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it?
Tracy Stewart says, great idea, saves colouring in. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely saves a lot of time there.
Right, so now I'm going to use my gel medium to stick everything with.
Okay, so that's the glue that you were saying was for everything mixed media.
So this is your best friend. Excellent. If you're doing mixed media, it is definitely your best friend. You know what, I'm going to stick my butterflies on first and then the sentiment. Okay. So because it's a cover, I'm going to do them flat. So let's have one there.
We've got a lot of people who are getting artsy this weekend. Sharon says, I've lost the comment now. There we go. She says, great idea to add the butterflies. I'm learning so much for you. This weekend I will be more artsy. I am usually crafty. It's nice to cross them over. I think,
it is. The skills from both are usable with each.
Definitely, yeah.
They really are. So let's pop that on there, and then these are going to go across. So we've got make the most of. And this really does stick everything to everything.
Fantastic.
So glass, paper, clay,
glass
leather, everything.
That's amazing.
So I'll take that out. We will rethread our binder, which is this way.
No, people are loving the black powder. All we're getting is love Zeus. Love this.
I mean, they're all absolutely stunning, but I think that is especially when I'm at craft shows.
Yes.
And we're like, well, look at this one. It's just black powder. You spray it, and that colour explosion comes out. Yeah. It blows people's minds. So, obviously, I need to do the back of my journals, but they just slip in like this, and you've got journals on the go.
Oh, great. We can mix and match. It's worth mentioning actually the cover that you're using. It's this fantastic cover that we've added to CraftStash. So journaling essentials, cover and inserts. So you can see here it is just a simple journal cover, it's just made of card, and we also sell the inserts to go inside it, and it just means that you can personalise your journaling, your stationery, and you can end up with something absolutely stunning like
and
this.
as you can see, we've chucked loads of different mediums at it. It's not buckled, it's not warped.
Yeah, no, it's really held its shape well.
Really good. So there we have, that is our journal.
Fantastic, and super quick as well. I
Yeah,
can't
it was.
believe how quickly you've put
Yeah,
that
so
together.
the longest amount is the drain time.
Yes, yeah.
Everything else is just, it's
And
good
you
to
can
go.
speed that up with a heat tool as
Of
well.
course you can.
So don't forget, all of these are available on CraftStash, and also we have our competition to win some of this fantastic product. So don't forget, comment to win. Your comments are great already, they're flooding in. It's great seeing your responses to the demos, your mixed media journey, whether you're an experienced mixed media artist, whether you're just beginning your journey, it's fantastic to hear from you. So Lynette's going to show us a second demo now.
I am. So I just need to pop down here to get everything out. We're all prepared. So in this one we are going to be doing the layering effect again, but with thicker elements.
Oh, great.
So you're going to get really dimensional look. So and we're going to use a couple other of my favourite products. So I love marble texture paste.
Oh, wow.
I love sand texture paste.
Great.
And then we've got a normal white texture paste, which most people are going to be familiar with, the white texture paste.
Okay.
And if you're not, I'll talk you through it just very, very quickly.
Excellent. I like texture paste. I like the dimension of it.
Yeah.
That 3D thing.
Oops.
Barb Lucy's going to make a travel journal.
I don't blame you.
Given her some great ideas. Elizabeth Fleming, Traveller's Notebooks are an essential for me. It's great how we've gone back to that kind of paper journaling type thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So all I'm doing here is just taking my spatula and just swiping the texture paste over the top.
Wow.
Got a little bit of smudge in there, but that doesn't matter.
Okay.
So I'm just going to try and sneak a little bit more on there, just with what's on my spatula.
Okay.
So what you can do is either you can wait for that to dry. Let me just pop that back under there. You can wait for that to dry. You can speed it up with a heat tool.
Okay.
But for the purpose of demo, we're just going to build straight on top of it. If you are careful, you can build straight on top of it.
Wow.
You don't need to wait for that texture paste to dry.
Okay.
So we're going to use our gel medium again.
Okay.
I'll just pop some of these things out the way.
Just hopping back to the previous demo
Yeah.
at the moment, Sarah Louise Roland is asking where the butterfly stamp and the powders came from. So the powders are the explosion stamps from Pretty Gets Gritty, and then the butterfly stamp was the
Pretty Thoughts.
Oh, Pretty Thoughts.
Yeah, so
Apologies.
the words are Pretty Vibes. The butterflies are from Pretty Thoughts.
Pretty Thoughts.
Right, so gel medium onto our MDF. And
I love that it's strong enough to stick wood on wood.
yeah, it is, and it is. I mean, you can see from the finish, but it is very easy. So this is the pipe work, what I call grab sheets. So these are all steampunky in style. So we've got pipe work, you've got nuts and bolts on there. Our pipes, we have taps. So it's really good if you're into the steampunk thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I thought we'd show something really, really pretty with our journal demo, and then we do something a bit dark and steampunk in a bit.
Yeah, that's good. A bit grittier.
Yeah, a bit grittier.
I'm sorry,
We're
I have to
getting-
get a pun into every Facebook
We are
Live.
getting our grit on. So let's put a cog on there. So we've got the cogs are from a separate grab sheet. We've got nuts and bolts. We've got keys from the Keymaster.
Okay.
So I'm just going to start building So we want things on top of each other. That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
We want other things poking out from other places. So
lots and lots of layers.
yeah. So we'll pop that on there. I also like to do them so they just overhang a little bit, not everything in one space, but I like everything connected as well.
Yeah, and I guess you can do this with the pipes because they all kind of slot into one another.
Yeah, and of course the cogs go together too. So let's get some nuts and bolts on there.
Oh, amazing. I think I'd struggle to know when to stop. I'd just keep layering and layering and layering.
You know, layering is great.
Yes.
Love layering. You can sit and play for ages, but some of my best work is when I've just grabbed a handful of this, a handful of that, and a handful of the other, and thought, right, that's what I'm using.
Great.
I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to
throw it
go.
in. Yes.
And I've sat back after and thought, yeah,
great.
Love it. So the gel medium takes between 20 minutes and an hour to dry, depending on how much you've used.
Right.
So I would say probably about half an hour.
Okay.
What I've used here.
Okay. A lot of people intrigued by this. I've just seen a comment. Where's it gone? It made me laugh. Tracy Arnold. I love the sound texture paste makes when you spread it.
Yeah.
I can't say I've ever noticed, but I'll be looking out for
Yeah,
that
it
now.
does. It does have a, and especially if you're using like the marble or the sand texture paste, it's got a really gritty sound to it.
Of course, yeah. Tara's been doing mixed media for about a year. Still consider myself to be a beginner though. I've yet to make my own journal. I think that's a nice thing about craft, isn't it? You're always learning something new.
I'm always learning.
Yes. So Debbie Siddle, is it glue? I think that was about the gel medium.
Yeah, so it is. It's mixed media glue.
Yes. Rizwana is asking, are the stamps available on CraftStash? Yes, they are. Everything used today is available on CraftStash.
Right, so what we're going to do now, we should let that dry.
Okay.
But we haven't got time to let it dry. So this is sand texture paste. Now, can you see that grit?
Oh wow, yeah, that's
If I
really
hold that to
textured.
close-up camera, do you think you'll be able to see that grit? How gritty it is. See, normal texture paste is nice and smooth, but this is extra gritty.
I'm going to be listening for the sound now as well.
You might not be able to hear this because we're applying it with a brush. We're not doing it with a palette knife. So I want to add sort of like a texture, a rusty sort of effect. So all I'm doing is just stippling it on with a brush.
Oh, wow.
So when it dries, it's going to be a little bit gritty.
Oh, nice.
So you can put it through a stencil.
Yeah.
But there's just a different way to use it.
And just highlighting, I guess.
Yeah. It gives great if you want to create a rust effect.
So we've got someone here. Sarah Louise is saying, what's the difference between all of the products here? So she says she's a newbie to mixed media. She says, what's the difference between the gesso, the glue, the medium, all the different things? Right,
so the glue is what we are sticking everything with. The gesso will bring any base to one colour.
Okay.
It also primes any surface that isn't porous. So if you wanted to paint on glass with a water-based product or spray on glass or plastic or resin or metal, your sprays they won't stay on. They'll just slide off.
Right.
So you put a layer of gesso, whether it's white, black or transparent, because they all give different effects once the sprays are on.
Okay.
And that just primes your surface ready to go.
Oh, fantastic.
Right, so now we've got even more grit. So again, close-up camera, can you grab a shot of this? So this is marble texture paste, so that's like even grittier. Like extra. There's chunks of marble in there. So I'm now going to dump the brush because I don't use a brush. I use my finger. So imagine this is all dry. So things aren't going to move when I swipe the marble texture paste. So obviously you can use a palette knife. or a brush, but I do prefer to use my finger.
I feel like that looks really satisfying.
So I'm just putting this in crevices, make it look like, you know, it's rusted over years and it's got that corrosion going on. So just swipe that wherever you want it. So, and when all that is properly dry, you're then going to cover it all with black gesso.
Right.
So let me just wipe my finger. So that then becomes that.
Wow. So you can use gesso as a paint as well.
Yeah, so your gesso is going to cover everything. It's going to bring it all to one base, and then we can use our pretty amazing creams on it.
Okay.
I'll just dry my hands off. Again, you can use these with your finger. So there's 5 colours in the range. There is violet, there is red, there is green, there is blue, and there is gold.
Okay.
Now, as you'll see on these, there's not much colour to them.
Right, yes.
But once it hits black, it's pretty amazing.
Right, okay.
It almost looks electrified, hence them called Pretty Amazing Creams. So I'm going to use my green and my blue first.
Okay. And just while you open those up, I've had
Yep.
a question about the paintbrushes. Is there any particular paintbrush to use, and also are they easy to clean when you've used them with the texture base?
Because they're a water-based product, if you put them into water as soon as you've used them, so whether you've got a pot on your desk with water in, as long as you put them straight into water, they're easy to clean.
Then,
If you leave them on the side, you then have to use them in your mixed media projects
yes.
because they dry up and you have to use them as an embellishment.
Yes, yeah. I think I'd probably be guilty of that. I have to be very, very, very good when it comes to cleaning up.
Yeah, I need to be better at cleaning up. Right, you can see I've just swiped on the flat of my brush, not on the end, on the flat of my brush, just over the green, and I'm going to wipe some of that off. I only want a hint, and using the flat of my brush, this is how we're going to colour.
Oh.
So you can see when it hits the black, we have an electric colour coming through.
I did not expect that much colour
So.
to come out of that paste.
Yeah, so we have very little on the brush. I'm just going to pick up what's there and go in a different area. So we're just catching all that texture that we've created.
Great. And it must last for ages. 'cause
Yeah, it does.
You're using the tiny
You are.
amount there, and you're getting such a good coverage from it.
So again, using the flat of your brush, because then it just picks up on the very edges of the texture.
Can we just get a switch to the close-up camera
Yeah.
on this, just so that we can see just how much this colour's popping?
Can we see?
So that's so striking. You just
It is.
just
I'm
don't
just hoping
expect.
you can pick it up. So yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's really nice to see on the comments as well. Some people who are already Pretty Gets Gritty fans. Jane Gosling says, "Pretty Gets
Hi,
Gritty
Jane.
took my crafts to the next level."
Yeah. It's nice when people say, you know, oh, you know, the products help them make their mixed media
Yeah.
first step.
Yeah.
Right, I'm now going to swap my brush and I'm going to use the blue. So again, tiny swipe, knock most of it off, and then
Oh, again, it just pops.
yeah, you get an electric blue coming through. You can layer these as well so they can go over the top of one another, and you get another effect. So, let's just keep swiping. If you get any clumps like that, just go in with the tip of your brush and just swipe them out.
Okay.
So I need a little bit under there. Don't be afraid to get in and poke around with your brush.
Right. Just get those highlights. Wendy Lambert says, "Love the yummy texture." I love that word, yummy.
Yeah.
It sums it up.
So Just want to add a little bit more blue into the green. Right, now this looks, we've got the colour going on, but it looks a little bit patchy.
Okay.
We really need to bring those two colours together. So if we take the gold, and again, bringing it on the edge, swiping your brush through it, so you're just getting it on the flat. Pick up your project, and you're just going to bring this over all of it. So this will pull together your green and your blue. So it looks like the blue and the green is naturally occurring underneath. So gold all over the top. Oh, my watch is tapping on the surface.
Got more people inspired to try mixed media.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Catherine says, this is so different from anything I've ever done. It's definitely inspiring me to try something new and out of my comfort zone. I love that. I love thinking that you guys are all going to go out and try something new this weekend. It's so exciting.
We're starting a gritty movement, Kayla.
Yes. Kenny says, finally, Flo says, finally something my grandson will want to do with me. I think that's good as well, isn't it?
My kids love it.
It's a bit different. A lot of craft, there's a lot of butterflies around, and sometimes it's nice to have something that might appeal more to the boys.
That's it, and you can see from the two projects, I mean, how different. They're both mixed media, but both completely different.
Absolutely. There's
Same
for everyone.
same techniques, you're still layering. Right, I think we're done on that. So I've had to put it for the close-up.
It's
So you
absolutely
can see,
beautiful.
and if I twist it like that, you can see the colours coming through.
So many people saying, amazing, beautiful, that's cool, wow, love the looks of this.
Oh, thank you.
Just all the way through these demos, people have just been saying how much they love these products, how much they want to try them. The word fun is coming up.
Oh, it's
all
so
over the
much
place.
fun.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
You're letting yourself go creatively.
Yes.
You're just having fun, letting go.
Yeah. And just
see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody made a comment about the comment's gone, but about how it just lets you start again. If you don't like
it does.
You can just cover it and go at it again.
Look, I don't want to ruin what I've just done, but it is as easy as this. So I don't like that. Oops, that was far too much. So there. All I need to do is take Jasper over it. And that's it.
Wow.
So, disappeared.
So easy.
Yeah.
Start all over again. That's fantastic.
all over again.
Somebody's asking as well, what happens to the creams when they're used over white gesso?
Right, so these creams will not work over white.
Right, okay.
Only to be used over black card or darker bases. So you can use them in papercraft. You can take them through a stencil on black card, use them over black gesso, dark brown, but not white.
So it's for your dark
So
colours.
in fact, I have a little swatch here. I'm going to put those in front of the close-up. So those are all different colours, and it shows you them on white and black. So if you can see that you get a little shimmer on white. Yeah. But once they're on black, that's when you see them.
So it's the
that's
black
when you get that amazing look.
Fantastic. And can we just, I'm just going to grab the competition winners. If we just show this one more time on the close-up, people are asking to see.
I'll just not show you the black gessoed bit. the bit we're covered up.
So we have 2 winners today.
Oh, fabulous.
Both of you are winning fantastic Pretty Gritty bundles. So exciting. So we have Lisa Turner, who says, I love Steampunk. And
well done, Lisa.
Bernadette Lily Kay says, love Lynette Jasper as she does some amazing demos, which
Thank
I'm
you,
sure
Bernadette.
you'll all agree. We've just seen those amazing
Thank you
demos.
very much. 2 lucky winners.
2 lucky winners. They'll be having some fun with mixed media. Certainly.
Yeah.
So all that's left to say from me is thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure having Lynette here, so thank you, Lynette.
No, thank you for having me. I've had a wonderful day.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So join us again next week when Lou will be doing her first Facebook Live broadcast, and she'll have Olga of Paper Discovery here, who will be showing her new underwater collection. Very, very exciting. So thank you all, and see you soon.